All right, thank you guys, and welcome to the 2021 college basketball season. My name is Brock Page, and I do sports picks for free right here on YouTube. And if you want to see which one of these free YouTube picks on this channel that I'm actually betting on personally, there's only one way to do that, and that's to sign up for a membership on my website at brockpage.com. We're currently 4-0 with a push in our last 5 extra daily picks on that webpage. And if you want to access today's extra daily pick, it's only going to cost you just $2.99. We also finished the 2020 season 6-0 in our final 6 college basketball tier package picks on that very same website. And the good news is we have a college basketball tier package pick going off here today. We currently have over 810 members who are signed up and active on that site. And once again, if you want to see which one of these free YouTube picks on this channel that I'm actually betting on personally, there's only one way to do that, and that's to sign up for a membership on my website at brockpage.com. And with that, guys, let's go ahead and get started. Alcorn State takes on Washington State, 3 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Wazoo's minus 26.5, totals 141. The Cougs are led by Noah Williams, who averaged over 14 points a game, along with 3 boards and a couple assists last year. Now, the guard also averaged nearly 2 steals a game in that 2020 season as well. Meanwhile, big man Ife Abogidi, he got 7 rebounds a game last year and shot over 81% from the stripe. I think Alcorn might end up getting a little outclassed here. Their leading scorer, coming back from last season, averaged only 8 points a game and also shot 36% from the field. So I'm just not sure Alcorn's going to have enough to help put this one over the number. So I'm going to go ahead and lean toward Washington State, minus 26.5, and the under 141. Next matchup, Mount St. Mary's taking on Villanova, 4:30 Eastern start time. Nova's minus 24, totals 131. And although the Wildcats clearly outmatched the Mount in this one, just keep in mind the Cats notoriously struggle to cover the point spread early in the season. They don't end up blowing teams out. Jay Wright's much smarter than that, putting his starters out late in meaningless games. And to be honest, like I said, there's really no reason to be blowing a team out like Mount St. Mary's on November 9th. Now, Colin Gillespie struggled with injuries last season. He missed 5 games. You don't want him in there too long. Meanwhile, the Mountaineers on the other side, they have Nana Opoku, who's returning here this season. He's 6'9", and the senior averaged double-digit points a game last year, along with 7 rebounds. Now, Opoku also averaged over 2 blocks a game. I actually think the Mount should be able to keep this one close enough. Give me Mount St. Mary's plus 24, under 131. Next matchup, Akron, Ohio State, 6 o'clock East. Ohio State's minus 16, totals 144.5. Now, the Buckeyes have E.J. Liddell returning for his junior season here. He averaged over 16 points a game last year, along with 6 rebounds. Meanwhile, Justice Suing comes back this year as well. The 6'7" senior averaged double-digit points a game last year, along with 5.5 boards. Justice was also 49% from the field. I like Ohio State minus 16, over 144.5. Next matchup, Kansas, Michigan State, 7 o'clock Eastern start time at Madison Square Garden. Kansas is minus 4.5, totals 143. O'Shea Agbaji returns for a senior season for the Jayhawks. 14 points a game last year, along with 3 rebounds. Meanwhile, David McCormack averaged over 13 points a game last year himself, along with 6 rebounds. Now, the 6'10" forward shot 80% from the stripe, and he made nearly 52% of his field goals. They're taking on a Michigan State team whose top 2 leading scorers from 2020 are no longer with the program. The Spartans' highest scoring returner is Joey Hauser, who averaged just 9 points a game last year and 1 assist. I'm going to lean toward Kansas, minus 4.5, under 143. Next contest, Kentucky versus Duke. 9:30 Eastern tip-off at Madison Square Garden. Duke's -1, totals 148.5. The Blue Devils' top 3 leading scorers from 2020 are no longer with the program. They accounted for roughly 42 points a game between the 3 of them. As a matter of fact, 2 of those guys were shooting over 44% from 3 land. Now they're taking on a Kansas team who won a bunch of games down the home stretch last season. Davion Mintz averaged 11.5 points a game last year. He's back for his senior season. Now the guard from Charlotte also averaged 3 rebounds and 3 assists a game. Meanwhile, Keon Brooks scored double-digit points a game last year himself, along with 6 rebounds. Seemed like a pretty good spot for Kentucky backers here. Looks like it's kind of a new era for Duke basketball. I'm going to lean toward Kentucky +1 and the over 148.5. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our quick pick recap. We're going to cap as many games as possible very quickly. And once again, it's brought to you by my website at brockpage.com, where we are 4-0 with a push in our last 5 extra daily picks. I like Washington State -26.5, under 141. Mount St. Mary's +24, under 131. Bethune-Cookman +20, over 139. UC San Diego +15.5, under 141. Ohio State -16, over 144.5. Eastern Michigan +24, under 141. St. Pete's +9.5, under 131. Southern Illinois -7, over 138. I like UCONN -32, over 142. IUPUI +25.5, under 143. I'm also leaning toward Iona -6, under 137.5. Ball State +3.5, over 139. Give me Purdue -21, over 147. I'm also leaning toward Belmont -4, over 155.5. I'm leaning toward Rhode Island -11, over 146. I also like Pitt -10.5, over 153. Give me Davidson -6.5, under 137. Cincinnati Bearcats -9.5, under 134. Providence -14, under 133. Georgia Bulldogs -9, over 153.5. Hartford +5, under 139. Illinois Chicago +15.5, under 137. I'm also leaning toward Kansas -4, under 143. I like Syracuse -22, under 151. Give me the UNC Tar Heels -23, over 150. Monmouth +4.5, under 139. I'm also leaning toward UNC Greensboro -8, under 139.5. I also like NC Central +26.5, under 139. Give me Colgate -7, under 149. I like Oakland +17, over 152. I'm leaning toward Arizona State, the Sun Devils -24, over 156. Give me Clemson -18, under 136 and a hook. I like the Maryland Terrapins -23, under 141.5. Give me Rider +7.5, under 143. I'm leaning toward Siena +19, under 133.5. I also like East Carolina -20, over 142. Give me George Mason -2.5, over 142 and a hook. I also like Tennessee Martin +35 in the over 145. Give me Oregon -21, over 151. I'm also leaning toward Valparaiso +5, over 147. Give me Towson +2, under 140. I also like South Carolina -24, over 148. Give me Bowling Green -9, over 50. Bowling Green -9, over 152.5. Miami Hurricanes -15, over 149 and a hook. Cornell +1, under 141. Georgia Tech -10, under 142.5. Ole Miss Rebels minus 24 over 142. I like Niagara plus 16.5 under 140. Give me UNC Asheville plus 18 over 146. I'm also leaning toward Incarnate Word plus 13 under 133. Give me UMBC plus 11.5 under 146. I also like Mississippi Valley State plus 42.5 over 153. Give me Utah minus 9 under 137. Alabama State plus 26 under 137.5. I'm also leaning toward Creighton minus 34 over 139 and a hook. NC State minus 23 over 150. Give me Central Arkansas plus 20 over 148. I also like Missouri, the Tigers, minus 16.5 under 143. Give me Columbia plus 10 under 135. Coppin State plus 35 over 147. Also leaning toward Boston College minus 12 over 135.5. I like Eastern Illinois plus 23 under 139. Give me the Florida Gators minus 19 over 141. Houston Cougars minus 19 under 141.5. Indiana State minus 2.5 under 139. Illinois minus 30 under 136. Wichita State, the Shockers, minus 7.5 over 141. Minnesota minus 8 over 134.5. Iowa State minus 15 over 141 and a hook. LSU minus 20.5 over 147. Give me Virginia Tech minus 26 under 132. Marist plus 3 under 130. Maryland Eastern Shore plus 22 over 141. McNeese State plus 25 over 144 and a hook. Arkansas minus 19 over 150.5. North Dakota plus 7 over 150. I'm also leaning toward Auburn minus 15.5 over 146. Northern Iowa minus 11 over 149. Give me Texas Tech minus 22 under 143. Oklahoma Sooners minus 26 under 141.5. Give me Pepperdine plus 6.5 over 157. LaSalle Explorers minus 7 over 146.5. Southeast Missouri State plus 16 over 146. Tulane minus 16 under 141. I'm also leaning toward Wisconsin minus 25 under 140.5. George Washington minus 5 under 139 and a hook. Tennessee State plus 1 under 139. Memphis minus 29 over 149. Give me Oklahoma State minus 17.5 over 145. UNC Wilmington plus 5 over 146.5. I'm also leaning toward Western Illinois plus 17.5 over 153. SIU Edwardsville plus 20 over 138 and a hook. I like Santa Clara minus 7.5 over 155. USC Trojans minus 24 over 147. Gonzaga minus 40 under 167. Grambling plus 15 under 136.5. I'm also leaning toward Houston Baptist plus 34.5 over 152. Alabama Crimson Tide minus 11 over 152.5. Navy plus 14.5 under 125. Louisville minus 26.5 over 138. Also leaning toward UC Irvine plus 4.5 under 136 and a hook. Boise State minus 14.5 over 146. Give me Bradley plus 11 over 148. Kentucky plus 1 over 148.5. I'm also leaning toward Oral Roberts plus 12.5 over 155. Utah State minus 11.5 under 139. Give me Loyola Marymount minus 8 over 141. I also like Brigham Young, BYU minus 14 over 145.5. Eastern Washington plus 19.5 over 153. Iowa Hawkeyes minus 21.5 under 145. Colorado minus 12.5 under 141. Washington minus 19 under 145. Give me St. Mary's minus 18 over 136. Stanford minus 16 under 133. I'm leaning towards San Diego State minus 13.5 under 131. San Francisco Dons minus 22 over 148. Oregon State minus 14 over 142. And if you're still with me, I don't know how you just listened to all that, but before I give you my next and final free pick for the video, one final reminder that we are 4-0 with a push in our last 5 extra daily picks on BrockPage.com. We're also 6-0 in our last 6 college basketball tier package picks on that very same website. I like UCLA minus 21 under 135. And with that, guys, now it's time for our shout out of the day. That's going to go to Drew, the chosen one, who said earlier this morning, "Good morning, bro. College basketball starts today." Of course, Drew, you are absolutely right. And business is about to pick up, man. College basketball is here. We got 1 million games every day. We got NBA in full swing, NHL, NFL, college football. We got a lot of stuff going on. It's gonna be a lot more white hairs in this beard. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on BrockPage.com. If you guys do end up getting a membership here today on that website, just keep in mind you're going to get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you do end up getting a membership here today on BrockPage.com, just keep in mind that you're going to get access to that content all the way through the end of November. I always tell folks in every single video, the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. With that said, guys, happy Tuesday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at BrockPage.com.